Joining us now to discuss the legal perspective of this case is Eric Snyder. He's a partner at Wilk, Auslander, where he is a chair of the firm's bankruptcy department. Eric, so Genesis Global Holdco and its subsidiaries Genesis Asia Pacific and Genesis Global Capital filed a trio of these voluntary petitions with the bankruptcy court. What are these entities and what are the assets and liabilities therein?
So, thanks for having me. It looks like, although, as Danny said, it's early in the morning, they filed with their bankruptcy petition a plan. Their goal is either to sell themselves in an asset sale or substantially all of their assets under a plan and then decide who gets the assets, or if it can't be sold, then they want to do something to transfer all the assets to a general unsecured creditor trust. In that case, the creditors would run the operations until a buyer could be found. They're basically admitting they're giving it up. They're either going to have a quick sale or they're going to transfer everything to an unsecured creditor trust to liquidate. In response to your question about what the assets are worth, it looks like they say they have about $1 billion, but the $1 billion is both cash and crypto and collateral for notes. So we know what the cash is worth, obviously, but we don't know how easily the crypto could be monetized, and we don't know the value of the collateral that they're holding for loans they gave to other entities. And this is consistent with what's been going on.
There are other subsidiaries that were not included in the filing, or they're the spot trading business was doing fine. It was just that the lending business was impacted.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get through all the first day filings. They filed it early this morning. But the businesses that they did file have approximately $1 billion in assets. And again, I don't know what that'll monetize to, what that will equal. And also, as you pointed out, the list of creditors isn't clear. But it looks like there's going to be substantial haircuts to all the creditors. And again, the issue is, what is the value of the collateral? Usually, collateral in most cases is pretty easy to monetize. It's cash, real estate, or marketable securities. But when it comes to crypto, it's very difficult to tell what the markets are. For example, if they're holding FTT coins, we know that's going to have very limited value. So we just need to understand what kind of crypto they're holding and what kind of collateral they're holding for other loans.
Well, Gemini co-founder Cameron Winklevoss was also tweeting, we have a tweet here, unless Barry and DCG come to their senses and make a fair offer to creditors, we will be filing a lawsuit against Barry and DCG imminently. So how does DCG come into the picture?
Well, it looks like, again, they filed a plan, but they didn't file something called a disclosure statement, which is usually filed to describe what's in the plan. So they tell you what they're going to do, which is, like I said, either sell the assets in an asset sale or flip it to a liquidating trust. But they don't say who they're selling it to. And so that might be what Winklevoss is alluding to, that DCG is going to come up and put in a bid for the assets to take out the creditors. And maybe they're putting pressure on him to make the creditors whole. But that kind of interplay, it's not clear yet exactly what they're talking about, although the papers do contemplate some sort of an asset sale. And based on what you're saying in that latest tweet, it looks like they're expecting DCG to come up and buy the assets.
I talked to Danny before. Genesis owes $3.5 billion to their top 50 creditors. Genesis Global Capital, the partner firm to Gemini's defunct EARN program, is estimated more than 100,000 creditors and between $1 to $10 billion worth of liabilities as well as assets. So do you have a clear understanding of the division between these liabilities and assets?
No, and that's one of the things that it takes a while for crypto. Normally in big cases, the creditors, the companies do seek time, 30 days or so, to get their house in order. But in this case, it's going to take a long time not only to figure out the assets, the value of the crypto and their collateral, but the value of their liabilities. Again, they're not making creditor lists clear. So before we can figure out what percentage distribution is going to be, you need to figure
Eric,
out what the assets are. The
we have
liabilities.
about a minute and 90 seconds here, but what are the next steps and what is the timeline toward recovery?
Again, the papers were just filed. They don't have any motion to sell or anything, so I think there's going to be the drama that you spoke about between DCG and Winklevoss to find out if there are any buyers out there in the next 60 to 90 days. If there are buyers, then there'll be a motion to quickly sell the assets, take the money and whatever other collateral is left, and pay that pro rata to the creditors. If there is no asset sale in a short period of time, then I think they're just going to flip everything to a creditor trust and it'll be liquidated that way. But it looks like that this is going to move very quickly, and I'm suggesting within 90 days to get everything sold.